Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Do It Yourself Budget Hot Rodding, and we're going to start answering car questions. We're going to talk about a video production idea that I'm working on right now. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but we're going to kind of talk about some car stuff. What's going on, Simon? Welcome to the live. Um, It's good to see it's good to see you. It's good. You're the first one here so far. Um, so tonight we're going to talk about, some car stuff. I'll be breaking out some different tools and showing you guys some of the stuff that we'll be working on, some things that are going to be coming up here on the channel, along with the fact that there's a lot that's going to be happening. We're just kind of waiting for Project Spirit to get home, which we're just going to have to kind of be patient. It's one of those things. We're having to be very, very patient right now. So that is the game plan. Hi, honey. There's my beautiful, lovely wife. So that is where we stand right now. So currently, as it goes, what's going on? Think Different. So that's kind of where we stand right now. We're just waiting patiently for Project Spirit to get home so we can get to work on whatever it is we're going to work. Back to our roots. That's right. We're gonna get back to straight ahead hot rodding stuff. But if you got any questions about the classic car community, the classic car world, if you've ever had some questions, that sort of thing, I'm gonna do my best to answer those questions tonight and kind of, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's been a little while since we've kind of chit-chatted about this, chit-chatted about cars. Like I said, well, we've been kind of in that spot where we're just waiting. We're waiting. We don't have a transmission in the office to trip over and things like that. We've had a lot of headaches with that automatic swap. And we'll even talk a little bit about that tonight and kind of a buyer beware sort of thing. And it's not really anybody's fault. It's just kind of the way things have been, as of the last, since March. That's kind of how it's been. So we're even gonna talk about some different stuff that we're hoping to get out of the office and into Project Spirit or Project Lena. We're gonna talk about that. Get that stuff off that shelf so I can put some different parts up there, because over there, that's the part shelf. That's the part shelf. And if you're not familiar with the part shelf, that's where all the stuff goes, for the project cars. Um, in some way, shape, or form, it ends up on that shelf or underneath it or beside it or something like that. Hey, what's going on, Raven? Good to see you, buddy. So that's going to be kind of some of the things that you're going to expect in today's stream. So if you've ever had, like some old classic car, questions, stuff about the performance world as it used to be, we're definitely going to dive into that. We're also going to even talk about some different tools, kind of start setting up for a series that we're going to be starting for recorded content. Because we're going to get back, Think Different. We're actually really getting back to our roots in a lot of different ways. And we're going to talk about some production stuff that I've already started working on. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I've seen that Ian's live, and I'm like, well, dang, he's going live at this hour. But it's all good. Um, so there's going to be a lot of car talk tonight. Like I said, we're kind of waiting for Project Spirit to be finished up and that sort of thing. We're just in that waiting mode, and I hate that waiting mode. But we're definitely getting back to some roots here. What's going on, Chairman? So if you want to, tonight's the night to talk cars, and we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight talking about the up and coming series, because you guys are actually gonna be shocked about some of the changes in the car world, to the point where it's kind of like really, really surprising. Some stuff that you guys, I did not expect this, but we're gonna try to rein it in properly. I guess you could say we're gonna try to bring it home the right way. Um, so that being said, when we get another 5 minutes into the stream, we're definitely going to start in on that. So, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I just not have had a chance to respond yet, but yeah, I got it. Um, Chairman, I'm sorry, man. You're dealing with an awful. We'll talk more. We'll talk more, buddy. Um, I don't know what to say, you know, but we're gonna, I'm there for you, man. I'm there. I'm there. I'm sorry you're going through this stuff. I won't say no more. Your story is your story, sort of thing. We're even going to talk briefly tonight about this particular device. We're just going to talk about cars in general. Um, so, and we're even going to talk about something that Ian brought up last night. He brought up something on Spirit, and we're going to kind of touch base on some of those things. We're just going to talk cars tonight. It's too dark for me to even go out and do any work on cars. It is really dark outside already. Um, that typical, we're getting into the winter hours, so the daylight isn't there like it once was. So you have to, so there's going to be streams that if I'm going to go out and work on something, I'm going to take you guys with me. Um, we're definitely going to be, doing that sort, dealing with that thing. We'll have to go live earlier in the day, and I'll give you guys as much of a heads up as I can. Um, so that is where everything is. Um, so here in just a bit, we're going to really kind of kick this off. We're going to talk a lot about cars tonight. Again, getting back to our roots is, as Think Different actually put it a little while ago. And I guess, well, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about this as the stream progresses. But we're going to go ahead and just start it off right now. There has been a change that's been happening in the custom hot rod community. There's actually a change happening, and I knew the day was coming, but I didn't quite expect it. So, you know, I expected it, in another 20 years. The hot rod community has always been considered kind of a man's world. Men have always been there. The women have always enjoyed it, but they've always been on the outskirts enjoying what's going on the inside. And only a handful of women have been in the custom car community. As a matter of fact, there's actually a woman where I live who has this really cool classic Chevy pickup truck. It's really nice looking, runs great. Takes it to car shows. She wins a lot of trophies on this truck, and she built it. Her and her husband built it. Her husband isn't alive anymore, but she's still keeping it rocking and rolling. I mean, it's a good looking truck. And she's one of the few in the crowd who's been doing it for years. As a matter of fact, where the inspiration for what I'm going to talk about, I did this someone actually came across one of my really old videos. Um, this one lady came across it and she really liked it, and it was one of my top tens. I don't do much in the way of top tens anymore unless I'm going to do some satire. But the video is that it was the top 10 people you'll meet at a car show or a car meet. And there is a difference. A car meet, just, it's like cars and coffee, or, basically it's people that show up and just look at cars. That's it. And they'll show off their ride, whether it's, some high-end supercar or something like that, or, a car they've been working on for a little while, some custom ride. Um, Most of the time, it's your car enthusiast, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Basically, well, real quick, a car enthusiast is kind of what a lot of people would associate as a car guy. They know a lot about cars, but when it comes to actually tearing them apart and working on them, they don't know that's where it stops. That's where it stops right there. And they're usually the ones that are going, horsepower this and horsepower that, and they really don't quite get the concept that that power has to get to the pavement, or all that horsepower in the world doesn't mean diddly dick. So I did this top 10 and the type of people that you're going to meet at car shows and car meets, and someone came across it, and one of the descriptions that I gave was kind of the lady hot rodder of the community, and I referred to her as Hot Rod Henrietta. I think it was like number 9 on the list. And I said, "This is your future little old lady from Pasadena." I remember doing this video. Oh, honey, thank you. I'll just move this out of my way. Thank you, baby. Okay, appreciate that. Ooh, pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I figured I might want some coffee before work today. So.
Okay, well, understandable. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
So, um, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Because I'm going to actually talk, we're going to actually get into the production of the series. Well, when she came across the term Hot Rod Henrietta, okay, Raven, you rest up, buddy. So when she started talking about, how she wanted to be a Hot Rod Henrietta, some other ladies that I occasionally talk to right here on YouTube immediately did, was like, I wouldn't mind being that. And then all of them said, I don't know anything about cars. And this presents a problem because there is now a shift in the hot rod community. And the shift is that more women are getting into the performance world and doing car shows and doing drag racing. There's a lot of women that drag race now, and there's women now getting into doing drifting and things like that. Um, and seeing this, there's a lot more women that want to get involved now because, well, other women are doing it, and it's kind of the thing. And ironically enough, on the other side of the spectrum, there's fewer guys doing it than there used to be. There's a lot fewer guys doing the custom car scene than there ever was before. So now it's becoming a woman's thing to do custom cars, which that's great. I always wanted to see more women doing this sort of thing. My wife, she can work on cars with the best of them. So the production idea is that we're going to start, no pun intended, we're going to start gearing some videos now specifically for the ladies to kind of start getting them into the custom car scene. And we're going to actually go in and it's going to be labeled, do-it-yourself budget Hot Rod Henrietta series. And we're going to, what we're going to be working on throughout that series. So we're actually going to go in and produce actual videos geared towards the ladies who want to get into the custom car scene or at least have more knowledge about cars than they ever did before. So we're actually going to be tackling that subject. Um, for the record, we kind of already started this a little while back. Princess Faye, because she's a gearhead, we made the crack, where are all the car girls? Well, we've already been doing that. We have our own here on the channel, and that was the joke that we made, which it wasn't really a joke. It was just kind of solidifying the fact that, we already, Princess Faye works on them just like a guy would. As a matter of fact, in reference to the Hot Rod Henrietta line that I made in there, this is actually a true story. We used to have some neighbors below us. Basically, there was a couple that lived there and they had a roommate. And um, Hey, what's going on, Sean? I'm talking about a series that we're getting ready to gear up. No pun intended. Kind of talking about it. It's already in the production. We're already in production on it, and we're getting into it. And also if you got any questions about cars, we're also going to be taking questions on cars tonight, and that sort of thing. So if you got those classic car questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Because I'll tell you what, the classic car world is still pretty vast, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning a great deal. Also, we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's going to start happening with Project Spirit. We're going to be diving into a lot of that stuff. She should be home before terribly much longer. I don't know how much longer, but I know she's, I'm figuring sometime, uh, probably within a week or two. We ran into more problems. We'll talk a little bit about that during the stream. Um, and kind of a buyer beware right now sort of thing. We're also going to have to dive into that. So the first thing that, like I said, so we're going to, because more women are getting into the custom car scene than ever before, than, ever before in the history of custom cars, we're going to start taking a good close look at that. Um, So we're gonna, basically, I was more or less approached. I want to do custom cars, but I don't know anything about cars. And the lady was very sincere about it. And um, I really, I was like, I would love to help you get your start. Now, the person who brought it up, and then a bunch of other ladies said that person turned out to be a snake in the grass. But that's, a subject for a whole nother time. Honestly, we already covered it. It's not really even worth talking about, to be absolutely honest with you. But the idea is still true. So more than ever before, we're starting to see more ladies wanting to get into the custom car scene, and I want to do my part, because primarily the channel. What's going on, Third Gen? Good to see you, buddy. We're still waiting on Project Spirit to be finished up. We ran into problems, so it's good to see you, buddy. So real quick, again, we're gonna kind of cover, the production of this series. Again, more women are getting into the custom car scene than ever before, so we're gonna do our best to kind of start getting into, um, you know, kind of, kind of helping women that don't know anything about cars, but they want to get into the custom car scene, and that sort of thing. And literally, I don't, we're going to see how the series does, and it's going to be geared for the ladies. More than ever before, we're starting to see women wanting to work and build their own project cars. We've already been doing that, but we're going to start, kind of moving that direction, in that whole process. So that's kind of where it stands. So now, that's the big production announcement, and I've already started the production. Where we're going to start, and we're obviously going to have to start with like the simple stuff. Like this is your engine, this is the layout, design of it all. The different tools that, if you're going to get into the custom car scene, that you really should have on hand at all times, in some way, shape, or form. So we're definitely going to start diving into that. But that's kind of where it stands. Now, since Third Gen 83 is here, let's talk about Project Spirit. For those that don't know, Project Spirit about a month ago went into the shop to get her C4 automatic installed. Well, yeah, I'm getting to that, brother. What happened was, we had what I believed was all the parts. That would be funny. That would be funny. We'll get into that one later on. That one, that I don't know how that one would turn out. But when she got there, one of the first things we ran into, AutoZone accidentally, and this is more of a manufacturer packaging issue. But they sent us the wrong flex plate. Now, real quick, for those that don't know, there is, between the automatics and the manuals with starters and all of that, there is a difference between a flywheel and a flex plate. A flywheel is, for the starter, and it's got the, all the other stuff. What's going on, filming? It's got all the stuff that's attached to it that connects into the manual transmission. That's a flywheel for a manual, and that's for a manual transmission. On the other hand, for the automatics, there's not a whole lot attached to them. You've got, the torque converter, and it bolts to the engine. That's a flex plate. Okay. and the flex plate that we got from AutoZone was too freaking small. How is everybody doing tonight? Start putting that in the chat for me. So it was too small. It didn't bolt up. It wasn't going in place like it was supposed to. So immediately, they called me and said, "What do you want to do?" We've checked like three of them, but this one is the closest. I said, "Let me guess, it's for a V8." Yeah, how did you know? I said, and I explained it to him. I said, "All you have to do is take the counterweights off of it, and it'll be fine. In the worst case scenario, we might have to send it to a machine shop to get it, set up for internally balanced." I said, "But those few, where there's a couple of little drill holes, it shouldn't matter that much." I said, at that point, I mean, it really shouldn't matter." Oh, really? That's good of you, Sean. That's really good of you. Move around some furniture can get heavy. That's good of you. So that was the first problem we ran into. That only took maybe a day or two to fix. Then everything else started going into place. Real quick, for those who don't know, I did not know this. We went and picked up a cross member for the Mavericks, and ironically enough, the cross member between the manual and the automatic is exactly the same. I did not know that. So we weren't 100% sure. So I've got an extra cross member laying around for a Maverick. Funny. I think he ended up reusing the original. And everything is so, like, little stuff like that, perfect, it bolted right into place. Well, then it comes time, the shifter is getting ready to be mounted, and he goes to hook up the mechanic, the main mechanic over at Torque Diesel and Auto went to use the universal shift cable setup. And here came the problem. The one they sent me from Locar was the one for the C4 automatic, not the C6 automatic, not for a C4. This presented a problem because they're a little bit different. So I immediately called Summit, said, "Here's the situation." And they sent me another one. Well, it had the same exact problem. It was for a C6 automatic, not the C4. So I'm like, "Guys, this will work. The cable will work, but we need the mounting brackets that connect it to the shifter and connect it to the automatic. That's what we need, the eyelets. Okay, we could use it after that. We can make some fabrications or anything like that." And they sent me one, but it was for a custom ratchet shifter. So now 3 times in a row, Summit Racing has sent me the wrong parts. So we are now sitting at square one. I basically told the mechanic, I was like, "You know what this car needs at this point. If you can get it, go for it." I said, "I give up. I said, I can't get a dang thing. Even Eckler's doesn't carry a single thing for the C4 automatic to hook it up to the automatic shifter. Not for the Mustang, not for the Mercury Cougar, not for the Comets, the Mavericks, the Granadas, the Mercury Montenegro, uh, the list goes on. None of it. They don't carry a thing for the C4 automatic." And that's ironic, because that's a very common thing for the classic cars. And good luck getting it through any local auto parts dealer. They will immediately say, "I haven't got a clue." So we ran into that problem. So he's put the parts on order, and we just have to figure it up afterwards. So that's kind of where we sit right now. We're just waiting for the new parts to come in directly to the shop, and we're probably going to take those parts that Summit sent us, send it right back, and say, "Give me my money back. This is ridiculous." And I don't. This is the buyer beware. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, there's been a lot of problems with shipping, getting your stuff, if you will. So now we're sitting at square one, trying to get it. Basically, the transmission's in, everything's ready to go. All it has to be done is the cables, the shifter has to be hooked up to the automatic. And it's that final stage. That's where we're at. And anything Mustang, Mercury Cougar, in that time frame, Again, Ford Granada, all of that. Even the Ford Falcon will work as long as it's for an automatic on the floor. The problem is getting your hands on it, you know, and nobody carries anything for those classic Fords. And I'm sitting there like, and I'm telling y'all right now, it's pissing me off to the point where I'm ready to yank that shit out and go Chevy V8 and automatic in it. It's to that point because I can at least get the parts for that shit. So it's very frustrating. But I will say this, until the pandemic is over, I will not be doing business with Summit Racing, and I recommend you all not doing the same exact thing. Basically, don't do business with them because you're going to get the wrong parts. Yeah, it's an absolute pain right now. So Project Spirit's been laid up, and they've had her in and out of the shop 3 times already, thinking we have the right parts, and no, we have not. So it's been an absolute nightmare. I will not be doing this again. Once that transmission goes in, we are not dealing with this again. How you doing, Daniel? Good to see you, buddy. So that has been the nightmare. So that's what we've been waiting on. And once Project Spirit comes home, she one of the other problems we also ran into is we believe that her original. I'm doing okay, other than the headaches that's been coming with Project Spirit. That's really all it's been. Um, Now, real quick, Um, I will also say that we believe that Project Spirit's original heater motor, the little blower motor that blows the heat throughout the car, is finally giving out. It's been smoke. We've been getting some smoke from underneath the dash, and it's like, oh shit. Well, the 2 times that it's done it, if it really was like a short or something like that, she would have caught up and just went in flames like that. She'd have burned to the ground. So we're thinking it's the original heater motor. They're gonna Torque Diesel and Auto is gonna get under there. They're gonna take a good look at it. If that and I'm about 75% sure that the original heater motor finally gave out. Not a joke, guys. It took what 46 years? Remember, that's the joke about that car. It takes over 40 years for a part to break. They don't build them like that anymore, damn it. Um, so if that's any indication what it's like, so yeah, we've had that and that sort of thing, but it'd be a fairly decent fix. And they're going to go ahead and once they get all that in, they're going to check everything underneath the dash, make sure there's no shorts or anything like that, and then they're going to. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, D'Lo, I had a lot of fun with you earlier. It was a lot of fun. You got a great personality, and I'm hoping that sometime I might get to join you in one of your streams while I'm recording. You also got to take the try not to laugh at cinnamon challenge. I'm saying it right now, so we're definitely going to be recording that. Which, if Raven was still in here, I would tell him that the that video is almost done. We're going to be releasing it over the weekend. We ran into problems doing the try not to laugh at cinnamon Fortnite challenge when Raven did it. He was actually he was actually hurting from fighting laughter. Oh yeah, and for those who don't know how that challenge works, basically I have to do the cinnamon character on Fortnite, and you have to try not to laugh. Now it's okay if you do because it's funnier if you do. If you laugh, you'll just hear a ding, and I pre-record it and I upload it as a video, and I'll even basically do a counter where how many times you laugh, and then I'll put it at the end of the video. It's just even if you lose it throughout the video, it's perfectly fine. I don't mind that at all. Um, the more you lose it, the funnier it gets. So you don't have to necessarily, oh, I'll lose it in the first few minutes. Don't worry about that. That's funnier. It'll be funnier that way if you do. So that's just kind of how it works. So now that I've covered that, let's get back to cars. So again, yeah, that's the big problem. Well, third gen, I'll tell you straight up honest. The number one problem with the Mavericks and the automatics on the floor is, you know as well as I do, that was strictly an option. That was like an option that you had to specially order with the grabbers, and it is so hard to get that part now. Some of those parts for those old Mavericks are really hard to get. That's one of the reasons why when we went to the front disc brake conversion, I went and I mean, I could have gotten my hands on the reproduction. I found out, just before I went the route that I did, that I could have gotten my hands on a complete reproduction front disc brake system for the Ford Granadas and the Mavericks and all that. That the systems are now available. There's companies that have tooled up for it. But I was sitting there thinking, that system is so few and far between, on cars nowadays. What is going to be the most common? Mustang. So that's why we went to that system. So I could get those parts, for many, many, many years to come. And it is upgradable to the point where it's ridiculous. Oh yeah, Delo's a trip. He's funny as heck. Um, you know, so he's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Ran with him in Fortnite today, and we had a great time. Had a great time. So that is where we stand right now on Project Spirit. Now, again, uh, if you got any questions about the classic cars from the old days, feel free to ask them. I will do my very, very best to answer your classic car questions. About some of the old cars. Now, if any of you ask me what my all-time favorite cars are, start in the 1950s. Those are my favorites. I love cars of the 50s more than any other time frame in American car history. But when it comes to cars that can handle, I like my cars. Oh yeah, yeah. I seen that you were doing some kind of a random sort of stream today. I was like, shoot, yeah. So that's kind of where that stands right now. We're just kind of looking at that whole thing where, we're just waiting for the shop to get the right parts in, and then they're going to slap it in, and we're going to go from there. That's kind of where we are. We're just waiting. And because of how everybody ships and everything like that, I think he's going to go through Amazon because they can get their hands on the same exact thing for a little bit cheaper than Summit Racing. Again, Summit's having a lot of problems, and it's like ridiculous over there. And I'm like, I'm not doing business with you guys until you guys can get your heads on straight. This is ridiculous. I cannot do content like this if you guys are screwing up. My car's stuck in the shop, and I drive my car every day. Project Spirit, a 1975 Ford Maverick, is meant to be a daily driver. And I can't do daily driving with my car until she's home. Now, that brings us to the next spot that I need to talk about. Project Lena is going to start making frequent trips to the same shop. She needs a new catalytic converter. We're going to look at throttle positioning sensors. We're basically going to start going through her, and possibly even looking at doing some serious aftermarket stuff. She's also having problems with her freaking driver's window again. We just fixed that bullshit earlier this year. So it's back to, okay, she's probably going to go to a shop. So we're going to talk about that, as that kind of progresses. But Project Lena needs a lot of TLC. As a matter of fact, it's getting frustrating because of how ridiculous some of the problems are getting on that car. And even Princess Faye is like, either we're going to fix this dang thing, or I'm selling the damn car. I'm tired of fighting with it. And it's a good little car, and for those who don't know who Project Lena is, oh, it's just a matter of, being patient and spending some money. It's one of those things. So if you're not familiar with Project Lena is a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT with the 3.4 liter V6 front wheel drive ram air induction, 4-speed automatic transmission, front wheel drive, one of those front wheel drive, what some of us in the hot rod community call the front wheel drive shit box. That is what it is. What the heck? I think my cats are about to get into it. You might want to grab either Zelda or Galaxy. It looks like they're about to get into it. All right. Some of them did, but that was again, most of the time it was in the grabbers, and that was still a special order option. But you're right. Some of them did get them. Some did. And I mean, you had to know how to order through the dealership to get that there. You really had to know that stuff.
She's okay.
Okay.
She's going to cry immediately.
Okay. Here, bring her here real quick. Kitty, 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 kitty. Here. Okay. And no stream is complete without a kitten.
She won't be a kitten for much longer.
Say hi to everybody, Zelda. Hi. Here you go, babe. Kittens make it better. So that's kind of where all this stands. We're also, so again, once Project Spirit gets home, we're going to definitely start getting into, trying to get some of that work done that we've been meaning to get done, but it's just been a matter of money. That's kind of where we stand. But yeah, Third Gen's right. He's right. Most of the time, though, I've always seen them in the grabbers, which you kind of took an old two-door Maverick and you turned it into something really neat. The Shelby taillights and everything. Sean says hi. She says hi back. I don't know if you could hear her. But yeah, that's just kind of one of those things. For the Mavericks, it was pretty rare to kind of see those floor shifts. It did happen, but the automatic on the floor, you didn't usually. Even the manuals, I don't even think there was a 4-speed option. To be honest with you. Hey, what's going on, A&R? It's been a while. Good to see you, buddy. So that's kind of what we've been doing. Real quick, A&R is from Australia, and I'm going to tell y'all right now, Australia has an amazing car culture, probably the best in the world, hands down. They have an amazing car culture down there. What we throw away in the United States, they make awesome down there. I remember actually hearing somebody tell me that the Buick 3.8 is like amazing. And they were from Australia. I'm like, shoot, all the ones I've ever seen were giant turds. I'm like, are you kidding me? They're like, oh yeah, we love them down here. I'm like, so, and I looked at, did some looking, and I'm like, oh my God, they're doing amazing stuff with those things down there. Because the 3.8 Buick, V6 it was a horrible engine, horrible here in the United States. No guts whatsoever. No teeth to it whatsoever. And I know some of you are going to say Buick Grand National, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, all the turbos in the world, basically you just can't polish a turd, you know. You guys have an amazing car culture down there. I love you guys' car culture. Um, they even do amazing things with the old Ford inline sixes that just are ridiculous. And their custom car community, they do a lot with four doors, and the United States is playing catch up in that regard. That the four door cars are just not, we, send them every Toyota Prius. Honestly, I got nothing against the Prius other than it's just so overcomplicated. You've got a you got a gas engine, you've got an electric engine. Honestly, go one or the other, but I will tell you right now, I will not get an electric car. The main reason why I will never own an electric car right now is simply put, what's going on, Miss Electra? Welcome to the live stream. Glad to see you. Um, Miss Electra. Since we have there you go, classic American car. I'm going to go ahead and announce it since we have a lady in the chat. Uh, in the custom car community, there is now a shift, no pun intended, happening in the custom car community. The shift is that more women are doing custom cars than ever before. Not a joke. There are more women doing custom cars than the men now. And because of this, there are ladies now that have approached me as saying, I want to do the custom cars, but I don't know where to begin. And immediately they're like, would you start doing videos on this? And I said, yes. So I'm kind of already in the early production of it all. Um, and in this early production, we're getting back to basic stuff like this is your car, this is where your engine is, this is the types of drivetrains that you're going to see with the custom car community. So basically, I'm going to start doing videos on cars, getting into the custom car community that's geared, again, no pun intended, towards the ladies who want to get into the custom car community. And that's the big announcement on this tonight. We're already in the early productions where we're already looking at the videos and everything. Oh, no question about it. As a matter of fact, any artwork you see on Project Spirit, that is my wife's work. The blacked out taillight panel, she's the one who did the paint work on that. And it turned out amazing. There's a couple of spots I'm not 100% happy with, but you would have to get up there and I would have to actually point at those spots for you to see them. I know they're there, and Princess Faye knows they're there, so it bothers us. It's kind of like that. But we're going to start getting into like, this is your engine. This is the typical drivetrain layouts that you're going to run into. This is where you might want to begin if you're just getting into the scene, that sort of thing. So we're actually going to be starting to gear this towards our ladies who want to start turning wrenches on their own cars and customizing them. So if you're interested, you definitely might want to, kind of take a look. For the record, the Prince Magnum channel, again, is the first YouTube, and for that matter, any channel here on the internet, kind of across the board, that our main platform is custom cars and romance. So that's kind of how it is. Now, real quick, I'm going to tell you all a real funny story, kind of dealing with the whole custom car community. This is not a joke. At one time here on the Prince Magnum channel, there was two Mavericks. Project Spirit, who's been here pretty much the whole time, and Project Vera, a 1977 four-door Maverick that was canary yellow. We actually did a video not that long ago on the Forgotten Maverick here on the Prince Magnum channel. And that was Princess Faye's project car. Looked gorgeous. You guys really think Different. You might actually remember that car because Think Different's actually from my community. And you might remember that canary yellow four-door Maverick. That was Princess Faye's project, which that car no longer exists. The frame rusted out from underneath it. So we couldn't keep it. And she actually took first place in her class at one car show. It was really cool. Because we were really tearing that car apart and really building it back up. All right, Chairman. You go rest up, buddy. Take it easy, okay? So that being said, there was actually a particular moment where Princess Faye was out doing work on Project Vera. I was off at work that day. And we had some neighbors that lived below us. There was a couple that lived down there, and then they had a roommate at the same time. And the two guys had the window open, was watching Princess Faye work on Project Vera, and they were like, "Wow, a woman that can work on their car, work on a car and do custom car work and everything." And they were drooling over Princess Faye to the point where the woman walked up. You realize she's freaking married. You guys are freaking, put your tongues back in your mouth. And that's a true story. And ironically enough, when we would go to car shows and car meets and things like that, the older guys, the moment they found out that Project Vera was a woman's project car, that it was a woman doing the work, immediately loved that car more than Project Spirit. This is not a joke. They immediately love that car more than you guys could imagine. And I did not know this. I learned something that evidently a common name in the old black and white movies, uh, the the antagonist woman's a common antagonist woman's name in the black and white movie days was Vera. So um, a lot of the old timers really gravitated towards the name of the car, just because of that as well. And the older men really loved Project Vera more than Project Spirit. So if you thought that was interesting, yeah. So we're gonna really start gearing videos towards the ladies who are just wanting to get into the custom car community. We're gonna do kind of measure it out in three different categories: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And it's one of those things that guys, I know, like, well, what about us guys? There's a million videos here on YouTube, and not just on my channel, just in general for the guys. If we haven't gotten it by now, we're not going to. Okay, it's kind of like that. Grab it and run with it. But if you're not going to do it, just watch it then. So it's time to start doing the videos for the ladies. It's their time to shine. And it's been a long time in coming. It's been a long time in coming. And I will tell you again, there is actually a lady who, her and her late husband built this gorgeous looking Chevy pickup. I think it was like a 19 set. No, I'm sorry. It was like a 68, 69 Chevy pickup. Gorgeous looking ride. Beautiful looking pickup truck. All right, A&R. I'll have to get over there and take a look-see. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, gorgeous looking pickup truck. Her husband has long since passed, like, 5, maybe 6 years ago. He's long since passed, but she still keeps up with the project truck, and gorgeous looking. Yeah. And she's kept up with that truck and continued to work on it and keep it rocking and rolling. And hey, what's going on, Mikey Age? So that's just kind of one of those things, the this and I will say right now that when she's at car shows, all of the guys gawk at her too. She older woman, pickup truck that she still works on herself, and all the guys gawk at her. Yeah, as Sean just said that earlier. Yeah, we might do that. We might do that. Or we might do where Cinnamon gets, once Project Spirit gets home, we might do a video where Cinnamon is hot footing Project Spirit. Yeah, we might do that one. Yeah, that's been a thought of mine for a little while. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But again, we're gearing up for Project Spirit now. We're also going to, some of the things that we're going to do, like if you're going to do a modern tuner hot rod, if you will, a modern tuner custom car, a device that you definitely should keep on hand, scan tool. We'll talk about those. We're really trying to get in there and get some stuff, get some solid edited content, because the winter time is coming up. We definitely need our edited content, and that's what we're going to be doing. So there's going to just kind of expect an introduction video that's going to be coming out to the new series. We're already, I'm already looking at filming it and things like that. Um, what it's going to look, basically I'm already in the early production of what it's going to look like, what it's going to be like, and that sort of thing. Because there's a lot of ladies that now want to get into doing their own custom cars, but they don't know where to begin. And all the stuff's been geared towards the guys, and they could look at it, but they don't really feel like they're being talked to, and that's not right. So we're going to capitalize on it. And again, um, you know, exactly, exactly. And the irony of it is the younger guys are really not getting into the custom cars like they once did. Um, and the ones that do, you're like, well, what are you working on? And one of the first things that they'll start talking about is horsepower. And I'm going to say it right now. Horsepower doesn't mean diddly squat if you can't get that power to the pavement. And that's something that we're going to spend a lot more time teaching here on the channel. That's been, and that's something that we've kind of tried to do, but it falls on deaf ears with the guys. So we're going to spend, is since, we're kind of taking a lot of clean slates, with the ladies, and we're going to kind of start working that direction. We can actually do that now and actually make the ladies even better when it comes to working in that direct, because they're clean slates. The guys, they hear about the numbers. And I'm going to give you an example. The night, the super sports from the 60s. Everybody always thinks that the super sports from the 60s and even the Z28 Camaro was just an engine option. No, it wasn't. There was more to those vehicles than just an engine option. Um, give you an example, like the 1970 Chevelle Super Sport that everyone goes back to. LS6 454. You had your choice of a four. Exactly, ANR. See, you say you don't even know anything about cars, but you know more already than some of the guys getting into the custom car scene now. There's the irony of that. But one of the options, everyone automatically thinks that it came with the Muncie M22 Rock Crusher 4-speed manual transmission. Well, it also had, the 400 turbo option, in that with that same LS6. And that's where they think it stops. No, they had to put a heavy duty suspension underneath it, and including a rear sway bar on the rear end. You had your choices of gear ratios from like I think it was like the 308 all the way up to 411s, and you had the option of posi traction rear ends. And of course you had your dual exhaust and all that other stuff. There was more than just an engine option. And there was even the all important cowl induction scoop, which actually had a solenoid option that opened up to allow even more air in. But nobody knows this stuff. They think it's just an engine option that made the super sports. And no, it wasn't, because you even had that came with it bucket seats. You had the center console with the shifter on the floor. Those were important options. So if you got the base model Chevelle, it came bare bones, and you had your choice of certain engines. But if you wanted the performance side of it, you had to get into the Super Sport package, and you can kind of play with it a little bit there. And even then, there was only certain engines that were available at that time. There was like a high performance 350 at the time. Most people tend to forget the 350 was an option, and they sold more Super Sport 350s than anything else. And then there was the 396, which was actually a 402, and they sold quite a few of those. Then there was a couple different versions of the 396. Hi, Queen Bee. You missed the announcement. We'll do the announcement again, and then there was the LS5 454 that was available at the time, and they sold more LS5 454s than they did the LS6s. The LS6, if you will, was kind of the unicorn of the 1970s Chevelles. And most people don't know this. That's the ridiculous part. And when you try to explain to them, they're like, but horsepower. And this is the problem with the guys. So again, if you're just joining us, like, our lovely Queen Bee, more women are getting into the custom car scene than ever before. And the irony of it is the ones that have approached me as of recent are saying, I want to do custom cars, but I don't know anything about cars. So we're actually going to be doing kind of a series geared towards our ladies who want to get into the custom car scene but don't know anything about cars. So we're going to pretty much be starting at the very beginning and working through. It doesn't really matter, but basically we're going to be doing videos for the beginner, the beginner ladies, intermediate, and all the way to advanced. So we're definitely going to be doing videos specifically for our ladies more than ever before, because more ladies want to get into the custom car scene. And even if they don't go past the beginner, at least they'll know more about vehicles than ever before, even if they don't ever actually turn a wrench on them, so they won't be ripped off when they take their car to a shop. Yeah, and we'll actually be diving into that a little bit more. But always remember, Christian, I will say this right now. Numbers don't mean anything if you can't get it to the pavement, which you kind of already know that, I'm sure. That is actually something that most people don't know. And I'm going to give you an example. I have a ton of video footage that I occasionally re-release of Project Spirit sliding around corners and laying rubber down and hitting ridiculous speeds. And she was rated at the factory for only 85 horses. How does that figure? Well, there's a whole ball game that basically once that power leaves the flywheel or the basically gets from the flywheel or the flex plate to there's a whole lot more that has to happen for that power to get all the way to the pavement. And we're actually going to start diving into that. So we're definitely, our ladies out there are clean slates, and they're going to have, so we're going to start gearing it up for the ladies who want to get into the custom car scene. And of course, we're even going to go back to we're getting back to our roots. This is, this is that. Here's the benefits. Here's the disadvantages, the pros and the cons, if you will, that sort of thing. So we're getting back into the basics, the good stuff, right down to, basic general routine maintenance, of your project car. We're doing it all. We're covering it all. And, one of the biggest issues that we have had here on the Prince Magnum channel, without a question of a doubt in my mind, has been the number one issue, has been trying to get the guys to understand it's more than a numbers game. The numbers are good. The numbers are important, but they're not as important as you might think. Getting the numbers, getting the numbers to the pavement, that's where it really counts. And I will tell you all, I have seen where a guy will build a stock engine. Oh yes, and we're definitely going to dive into that. So Queen Bee, yeah, we're gearing up a series for the ladies, which I know that's probably something that you're like, really? Yes. We ladies get our own hot rod series, finally, and that's what it's really all about. Because some of the ladies right now that are already doing the custom cars, I mean, they're ridiculous. I mean, I'm an experienced street racer, and I know I don't stand a chance. I mean, I could be running like I could be, Project Spirit could, could be running, like, 200 miles an hour, and they'd still whoop my ass. They're that good now. Guys, we might as well just step aside. The ladies are kicking our asses. And it's high time that they get their own series right here on this channel. So that's the big announcement tonight. But since we're already here, we're talking cars and everything. I'm gonna give you all one of the coolest life hacks you're ever gonna get. Okay, one of the really coolest ones you're gonna get. So for anybody, and this is gonna be one of those routine maintenance life hacks. What's going on, Tego? What's going on, Tego? Good to see you, buddy. Glad that you're here tonight. Real quick. Oh, hey, I understand. Hey, I'm going to just say it like this. When you're here, I appreciate it. When you're not, I miss you. That's all right. That's all good, man. I understand. I understand. I'm just grateful that you're here tonight, Real quick. When you're buying, we're getting into the winter months here in the United States and, places like that. Antifreeze. Antifreeze. You're going to need to start taking a look at that. Oh, hey, I understand that, So antifreeze is a major thing that we need to talk about real quick. Now, this is the antifreeze that we use in Project Spirit, okay? But notice what it says, the concentrate, okay? Oh yeah, you live well, you guys are getting into your summer months down there in Australia, but here in the United States, it's going the other way. It has all to do with the Earth's tilt and anyhow, that's how we get our seasons. This is the concentrate. Now, I know there's the 50-50 mix that's already available. I'm going to give you guys. There you go. We're actually going to talk about that real quick. Now, why do I buy the concentrate when it's convenient to buy the 50-50? Here it is. Okay, so this is going to be your coolest life hack that you're going to get tonight. By going back to doing it the old way, the normal A&R. I'm going to explain this. You want to buy the concentrate. The concentrate actually costs maybe a couple dollars more than the 50-50 mix. But here's the thing. If you take the concentrate and you turn it into the 50-50 mix, okay? Because what you're supposed to do with that is you actually have to mix it with half water. So now, basically, by spending a couple extra dollars, you doubled the amount of antifreeze that you have. So let me kind of break it down like this. For the 50-50 mix, you'll spend, where I live, about $9. Okay, we'll just round it off. $9 for the 50-50 mix. Yeah, oh, the concentrate's cheaper. Okay, then you're better. You're really doing well. So what you do is you buy the concentrate, okay, and we'll just round it off. The 50-50 mix where I live, we'll say, is about $8, depending on what time of the year and all that other stuff. So it's about $8. For the concentrate, it's $10. So for $8, you have 1 gallon of pre-mixed antifreeze, half water, half antifreeze, ready to go. You pour it in. But if you buy the concentrate and you turn it into the 50-50, half water, half antifreeze, you got 2 gallons for $2 more. Basically, it's cheaper in the long run to buy the concentrate and do it yourself. And I already know why you guys are asking, why does it cost so much? Why is it that way? You're also paying for the packaging. That's why. You're paying for the packaging. That's why it costs more that way. So if you spend the money, what's going on, KC? Good to see you, buddy. So that's why we buy the concentrate. That's why we buy the concentrate. We also do that with Project Lena. We'll buy the Dex Cool concentrate, and then we split it half water, half water, half antifreeze, or half Dex Cool antifreeze, and then put the half the water in. We have now we have 2 gallons of premix for a fraction of the cost. Because if you buy the premix, the 50/50 antifreeze, where I live, you're paying $8 for what we use in Project Spirit. You pay $8, but if you pay an extra $2 and get the concentrate and then mix it yourself, you have 2 gallons for $2 extra. That's economics. That's thinking ahead. And it's better to have more of it on hand in case something out of the ordinary happens, or it's, yeah, I mean, that's just simple economics. So when you buy the premix, it's half water, half antifreeze. Well, that's the thing. There's the E85, which no one really uses a whole lot of anymore, especially where I live. Everyone just strictly uses gasoline. We got the 87, the 80. Oh yeah, we're doing good. We're just talking car stuff. I'm giving away some of the secrets, talking about some of the production stuff that we're getting ready to go into. We're waiting for my 1975 Ford Maverick Project Spirit to get home. That's kind of where we're at. And Project Spirit, if you're not familiar, is my daily driven 75 Ford Maverick. I still drive that car like everybody else drives their newer vehicles. Drive it every day to and from work. Good little car. I love it. I love that car. I say little, but by today's standards, it's practically a full size car by today's standards. So I'm actually giving away an economical secret that'll save you money on antifreeze because we're getting into. Oh, really? Yeah, we have the 98 octane here. No, I'm sorry, 91. Oh, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, Casey. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So I don't have to, so I'm preaching to the choir then. So yeah, I'm giving away that secret. Mix your own, and it's cheaper in the long run. Along with that, I've got a whole shelf still full of parts that we got to get onto Project Spirit. I've got some LED headlights that definitely got to go in. We're going to replace the halogens. Um, I've got a stereo that's got to be installed. Just tons of stuff like that. I even got some backup front suspension parts in case something breaks on projects. Yeah, I actually keep spare parts on hand for Project Spirit. And real quick, if you own a more modern car and you don't have one of these, get one. Scan tool. This one costs about $25-$30 at Walmart. Get yourself one of these. It plugs right into your OBD2. And if there's any problems whatsoever with your vehicle, it'll tell you, unless oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, you're familiar with Spirit. That's what's up. Yeah. What was that, A&R? What was that? Right. Oh yeah, a lot of the cars today are very flimsy. They scare me. They scare me. And then there's a whole list of things that goes on with cars that most people don't know with some of the safety features that are on them. And we'll talk more about those later on down the road. So we've got a lot of projects in the works. We're just waiting for Project Spirit to get home so we can get back to doing what we're doing. I love doing custom cars. I love the custom car community. But ironically enough, we're starting to see more and more women get into the custom car scene, and we're gearing up for those ladies now that want to start turning wrenches and start building their own custom cars because ironically enough, there's fewer guys doing it now. And the ladies are taking over. The ladies are kicking the guys' asses, and it's high time they did because some of those ladies for years have been doing a damn good job. And I've always appreciated ladies in motorsports and I appreciated the ladies at the custom car in the, doing the car shows and everything. I always appreciated their work more than the guys. I love the cars that the guys have been putting out, but sometimes the ladies have better stuff than the guys. No question about it. So we're definitely gearing up for that. So we will be shutting down here very soon because I've got some production stuff to finish up. So real quick, we have a Try Not to Laugh at Cinnamon Challenge with Mr. Raven Nuts that's going to be released this weekend. Well, the new transmission is in Project Spirit. We're just having problems with the shift linkage going down to the automatic transmission. There was nothing wrong with the old transmission other than it's just getting hard to get the parts for. And we were starting to have some issues where springs were starting to wear out and you can't get the springs anymore. And it's like, fuck it, I'm done. Trying to get parts for that old transmission. So the 3-speed manual is gone, and a new C4. Well, I say new, a refurbished C4 automatic transmission is now in Project Spirit. She's ready to go, except that we just can't, put it into gear because there's no shift linkage yet, and we're just waiting for that to come in to the shop right now. We've ended up going through now 2 different kits and additional parts from Summit Racing. I'm done doing business with Summit Racing for right now. Not until they can get their damn act together. I'm just not pleased with that. We'll be sending those parts back and I'll be screaming, I want my freaking money back. This is ridiculous. 3 times now, just on this one project, they have sent me the way wrong parts. So we just can't do that anymore. That is just not acceptable. Yeah. Yeah. The reason is that the C4 automatic you can get parts for all day long, except the shift linkage, evidently. But in replacing, if anything breaks, internally on that transmission, you can get the replacement parts. If you want to do anything stupid with it, you can pretty well get whatever you want. But you guys are going to really love this, and we showed it off already. The shifter that's going into Project Spirits out of a 1965 Ford Mustang. Got lucky and got something kind of cool, something really retro, which actually looks almost like the ones that was being put in the Mavericks anyways. It's just a little bit different, but pretty much same shifter. All they did was in the Mustangs they had a little crook that went up like that. Had a little bend in it. The ones for the Mavericks were straight. That was it. That was really the only difference. Other than that, which is kind of cool, if you think about it. Which really the Mavericks were just, yeah. Oh yeah. Which the Mavericks were just more or less a reskin Falcon, Mustang, Mercury Cougar. The joke about the Mavericks is it was all leftover Mustang parts. That's really the joke, which it's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty damn close. Fun fact, the Mavericks share the same taillights as the Pinto. Fun fact. The Mercury Comet. The Mercury Comet was just a Maverick made by Mercury. There you go. Another fun fact about the Mavericks. The front disc brake system that's on Project Spirit is for the 1970 to 73 Ford Mustang, bolted right into place. Did a whole video on it. It's pretty cool, actually. And that car stops on a dime now. It's a little tough because it doesn't have power brakes, but shoot, you just push down good and hard and she will stop good and hard. About to bounce your head off the damn steering wheel. It's ridiculous how that works, but it's a lot of fun. Really, really enjoy driving that car. It's so much fun. So again, we're gearing up for the ladies, no pun intended, that want to get into the custom car scene. The guys, we've had videos for years. The knowledge has been there for us for years. If we didn't take it by now, we're not going to. Okay, it's kind of like that. If you want to learn, the knowledge is already there. It's already there. It's the ladies' turn now. And they're already starting to do it. The Prince Magnum channel's just jumping on the bandwagon. That's just kind of how we're rolling. So, all right. We got the weekend ahead. Probably tomorrow, it's probably going to be a definite Cinnamon Saturday. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Nothing like a good Cinnamon Saturday. Sunday, I have no idea. We're going to try to do something special Sunday. Monday, we will not be streaming. We're going to do some sort of a premiere Sunday. I'm sorry, Monday. Tuesday, we're off. We're not doing a damn thing Tuesday because it's Tuesday Night Madness on Gamery and BRFC's channel. So, oh, no question about it. A&R, I know how much you love Project Spirit. That's like your favorite car on this channel. I know you got a little bit of love for Project Lena, but I know Project Spirit's your. It's like every time you even hear that name, you're like, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. You get excited about that car. And that's a lot of people. As a matter of fact, one of the ladies that wants this series, um, and I'll go ahead and tell the name, Midnight Cool. She's like, Project Spirits. Oh, I love that car. I love Project Spirit. She's like, just, ooh, I would love to take Project Spirit around the block a couple of times. I'm like, get in line. It's like that, get in line. Right, A&R? And I know there's a lot of people that really love that old car. And so again, I've got a ton of stuff that we're getting ready to open up and start using on Project Spirit. I'm going to show you guys something that I actually picked up. You can't even get these anymore. Uh, the old style torch. I got lucky enough and got this at a yard sale earlier this year. And basically, if you're not familiar with it, normally nowadays they've got this, click click, and then it lights it for you. This one here, you take you turn on the gas and you hit, you light it and do your thing. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Turn it off, and you're good to go. That's it. And this is an old one. How old are we talking? Well, you could have bought this item through Western Auto. That's how old this is. It was still in the box when we got it. Not a joke. That and it works. I've already used it. I've already used it. Yeah. Western Auto was bought out and is now Napa Auto Parts. So that was way back in the day. I got lucky. $10. Yeah, that's really old. Really old. As a matter of fact, tell you how old it is. There's nothing in Spanish on the box. Nothing in Spanish on the box. It's like, yes. So I got something really cool, and I've already used it like a million times. And as a matter of fact, when I got it, it still had a tank it still had Western Auto on it. But it just hooks right onto any one of these old tanks, you know, right? So I have for doing soldering work and things like that. I've got a good butane torch now, old school stuff there. Um, oh, real quick, don't worry, I got the cap on. We'll get to use this a little bit more. Don't worry, I got the cap on. It's safe. It's safe, guys. Relax, relax. Cap's on. It's okay. So we're definitely going to get to use some of that. I was like, you be safe with that stuff. It blows up helicopters and things. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Boom. There was Sean. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Real quick, KC, if you're still in the background and you've not checked it out, there's a series on this channel called Aircraft Remover. You definitely want to take a look at that. Watch out, Space Station. Yeah, there's a whole series on here. I've got a playlist that says Aircraft Remover. Take a look at it. You'll see what everyone's kind of going, oh my gosh, be careful with that stuff. There's a whole series on here. And I won't tell you anymore. I'll let you be surprised. You will laugh your ass off. You will, I promise. It's funny as heck. It's I've got some that's got to be released yet, and I've got one that I got to work on, which I might film tomorrow. But yeah, I promise it'll be hilarious. It'll be hilarious when you see that. Um, there's some on there that people asked me to do, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun to do that video, those videos, and I need to get back into it. So yes, for those of you who love aircraft remover, I've got some stuff I got to do. Don't worry, we'll get to it. It's on my to-do list, okay? But I've got some ready to go. So, all righty. So that's where we're at. Okay. Now I'm gonna go off and grab me a bite to eat. I'm hungry. I've got some production stuff to do. Princess, and I want to spend a little bit of time with Princess Faye before she runs off to work. She's working the night shift at her new job. No more Little Caesars, which is fine by me, because she wasn't happy there. So, all right. Awesome stream, guys. I hope you all learned a little something. Like I said, we got a lot of ground to cover over the course of, basically winter content, lots of stuff that's going into production. We're going to try to stay live as often as we can throughout the winter months, but with it getting colder, it's going to be harder to do. But I've got some ideas what we can do to keep it interesting. So, all right, so that does bring us to a very, very good stopping point. Again, thank you all for being here tonight as we talked about cars. I was hoping to get some questions about some classic cars, but that's okay. All righty. So thank you so much for everyone again being here. You guys are amazing. You guys are the Maverick Nation, every last one of you. All righty. So that brings me to the spot where I get to say to all of you, get out there and work on a project. Right, AR? Well, All right. Get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourselves. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special for them today. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.